So I haven't really verbalized much how difficult it is living in the tiny house sometimes. So I live in a 150 square foot tiny house. And while I am very lucky to live here, I'm very lucky to be here, it's exhausting. And a lot of it's a combination of my household chores in the tiny house have doubled compared to like my house in the city because I lost, luxuries that I had in the city, like, dishwashers and running water. And I also have additional chores here, like, just your typical standard homesteading chores, gathering firewood, chopping firewood, stacking firewood, moving firewood. If you combine that with working full-time at my day job, and then I'm also in school as well, so I just often feel tired and overwhelmed, and living in the tiny house in the winter is particularly difficult because I'm having to light the wood stove, and I have definitely had many moments where I'm lighting the wood stove and I'm just so exhausted and I'm just like crying as I'm loading the wood stove. This experience has definitely shown me how resilient I am, but I will be very, very, very appreciative one day, eventually, in the far future, have a house with like running water. I'm gonna have my own bathroom. I'm gonna have like a thermostat where I can just like turn on the heat. That's gonna be amazing. So on one hand, I'm glad for this experience because it has taught me to really appreciate luxuries that I've never appreciated before. Certainly, like logically, I knew what it was like to be able to just turn on a thermostat, but I've never experienced anything otherwise. So now that I've experienced the alternative, I definitely do appreciate all of those luxuries. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's just difficult sometimes. And I think that that's something that social media doesn't show about, tiny living or, living in the country or living on a property, is that it's not always this, I don't know, glamorous, cute way of living where you're just baking bread all day. Like, it's difficult work, and especially when your homestead chores combine with like your first world chores such as your full-time job and school work, it's really tough.